Hi guys, this is a quick recap on the different ways that we can present data in graphs and tables. I will also be recapping how to read the axis on a graph and which axis is which. This is a tally marks chart. You can use a tally marks chart to display information such as what is the class's favourite pet. On the left hand side you can see that we've got the pet and then the different examples, so a cat, a dog, and I think that's a hamster. And then in the middle is the tally marks, so you would ask the question, hands up, whose favourite animal is a cat? And then you would count the amount of people, and then if you remember we would make a mark, so a line down. So I'm just going to show you over here in a moment. So we would go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 shuts the door. And the idea is that we count then in fives. So when we were adding them together, we would go 5, 10. So the full amount of people who wanted to vote for the pet cat would be 10. Again, down here we can see that we haven't shut the door, so actually there's only 1, 2, 3, 4. So only 4 people wanted to vote for the dog. And down here for the hamster we can see we've got 1, 5, so 5 plus 1 is 6. The next way to display information is a Venn diagram. A Venn diagram is used to compare how two things are the same and how they are different. So it's displayed in two circles which have a section in the middle that interlaps. If we think about the fruit, a banana and a lemon, if we think about how they are the same, we would put everything that we think is the same into this middle section because it applies to both things. For example, they are both yellow. Now we think about how are they different? Well, a banana is sweet and a lemon is sour. Everything that applies to just the banana would go in this section here. So the banana is sweet, it doesn't apply to the lemon. Everything that applies to the lemon goes in here, so we think that the lemon is sour, that's why it's in this section. And as I said, in the middle is the area where they have in common, so they're both yellow. This is called a Carroll diagram. And this is used to display information to show how, again, it is different and how it is similar. So in this particular diagram, it's showing shapes, and it's usually organized into 4 areas. So we've got has curved lined, has straight lines, and down here has more than 3 sides, has 3 sides, or fewer than 3 sides, which means less than. So if we think about the first shape, a moon shape, we think first of all, okay, has a moon got curved lines or has it got straight lines? Well, it's got curved lines, so it would be in this column here. And then we think, has it got more than 3 sides or has it 3 sides or fewer? So because this is an irregular shape, we can count it's actually got 2 sides, 2 curved sides. So we would put it in this section here. If we look at another example, if we look at the rectangle, again, we can look at the first question, has it got curved lines or has it got straight lines? Well, it's got straight lines, so it's going to have to go into this column here. And then we look at these 2 questions, has more than 3 sides or has 3 sides or fewer? So it's got 1, 2, 3, 4 sides, so that means it's more than 3, so it needs to go in here. The previous slides were just recapping on the different ways of displaying information. In the lesson that we're looking at this week, however, we were focusing on how to tell the difference between the x-axis and the y-axis. This is an example of a bar chart as the information is displayed in columns or bars. To draw a bar chart, we need to have 2 lines, a horizontal line and a vertical line that join up together. The horizontal line, which goes from left to right at the bottom of our graph, is the x-axis. The vertical line, which goes from the bottom up, is called the y-axis. Another important thing to note about reading graphs is the title of the graph. This tells you what the graph is about. So in this instance, this bar chart is about people's favourite sports. The y-axis here shows the number of students. If you see there's the subtitle for that. The number of students is shown on the y-axis, and on the bottom along the x-axis, it shows the sports that they like. If we were asked a question about this chart, if we wanted to extract information from it, we could be asked how many people liked basketball. So in order to do that, a little trick to remember is if we go along the corridor and up the stairs. So I start here at 0, always start at 0, and you go along the corridor until you get to the area that you're looking for. So we're being asked how many people liked basketball. So we go across to the basketball section. Here it is. It's the green bar. And then we go up the stairs. So we go all the way up until it stops. So this is the line where it stops. Then what we have to do is go across to check what number does that represent. So in this example, that would be 6. So 6 people liked basketball. Next question, let's think about how many people liked soccer. So this time again, we're going to start at 0. You go along the corridor, there is the soccer column, okay, the orange column. We go up the stairs to the line. Now, this time, we need to be careful because if we follow it along and we get to here on our scale, it doesn't actually tell us what the number is. However, that line is in between the number 8 and the number 10. So we have to think what number comes in between the number 8 and the number 10, which in this example, it would be 9. This is something new that we're going to be learning about in the rest of the lesson, and there will be a separate YouTube video to talk about scale. This is the scale on the left-hand side, the numbers that we're counting up in. So there will be a separate YouTube video to help you with that. Right, let's do one last question. How many people chose another sport? So a sport that wasn't shown here. So not soccer, softball or basketball, so other. So again, we start at 0. We go along the corridor all the way over to other, the yellow bar. We start at the bottom at 0 and we go up until we reach the top of the bar. If we go across the way, all the way across, we get to here. Again, there's no number shown there, but if we look at the number before, it was 2. And the number after is 4. So what number comes in between 2 and 4, which would be 3.